Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be having a first look at this OnePlus 12. And guys, this is a retail unit that I had purchased from Amazon, and I have been actually using it for the last 36 hours. I also wanted to give you my initial impressions. What do I feel about this device? So here is the device itself. Already have taken it out, and here is the box. And in fact, device deserves unboxing because we do get quite a few things in the box. And regarding the pricing, guys, it comes in two variants. I've opted for the base variant, but luckily even the base variant comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. I purchased it from Amazon and it was for about 65,000, but using specific credit cards you can get 2,000 rupees off, so it will work out to about 63,000. I'll leave the link of Amazon in the description if you want to check it out. Here is the box itself, and again we still have that Hasselblad branding on this one, and it just says OnePlus over here, OnePlus 12. So never settle. And the phone was here, but let me actually show you what comes inside, because we do get quite a few things in the box. That SIM ejector tool is there, obviously. We also get this red club stuff and some this OnePlus never settle sticker also. So actually quite a bit, and I like that you're getting this case within the what do you say about, yes, again it looks pretty decent within the case. If you just put it like this, as you can see, I'm glad that at least they bundled it. They could have gone for slightly what do you say, better case like Motorola is doing, but again I appreciate the fact that they are giving the case. Anyways, if we go down, this will open up. If I pull this down, you do get a 100-watt charger in the box. And I have to say again, this is that fast charging, VOOC fast charging, and this charges this device very quickly. Less than 30 minutes full charge, I would say. So that's actually good. But again, this is not a PD charger. As you can see, it's having a USB type A and a type C port. But I'm a little bit saddened that it's not fully PD charging, because if it was that, you could just use this charger to charge your laptops, etc. But I tried charging this device with a PD charger, and now in that aspect I would say OnePlus has improved. I could actually charge this device with a PD charger, and it charged I don't recall exactly, but within an hour or so. So yes, you can even charge it with a PD charger, but if you want the faster charging, you have to use the supplied charger. Okay, let's come to the device itself. This is the device. Let me just zoom in, and first let's go over the physical aspects and overview, because there are some changes. And I would say right away, if you already have the OnePlus 11, I don't see this as an upgrade, because I would say yes, there are some new additions, but again, the OnePlus 11 is still a very good phone, very fluid and all those things. So again, this is slight of polish over that with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. But again, we do get some new features. Let me talk about that. And here is again a vent for the speaker, and I have to say the stereo speakers on this is super loud. In fact, way louder than many flagships, even louder than the S24 Ultra, I would say. The only smartphone I would say that might be slightly louder in terms of the stereo speakers than this one might be the Asus ROG Phone 8. So very good. One new addition is that now we are actually having IR blaster on this one, and this is a new move, and it works actually. You have the app over here, and I did test it with my Atomberg fans. I have a couple of Atomberg fans that work with the remote, and you can actually control it. But for some reason the app needs to be more functional, because I don't know if you have to go in this more to get the controls. Why can't I just click here? So again, small things, but yeah, the IR remote works, and it has a big database. So that's something that I noticed. On this end, we have the volume rockers and the power on a button. The alert slider has actually moved to the right side. It used to be always on this left side, so I'm still getting used to it, because my hand accidentally goes there with muscle memory, but it's on this side. Luckily, in terms of build quality, at least this is the retail Indian unit, I'm not noticing any gaps or something that were present on the Chinese units, so that way it's good. Bottom again, that went for the speaker, as I've told you, very loud speakers that we are getting on this one. Type C port, and your SIM tray, again dual nano SIM, no micro SD card or anything like that. And over here again we just have the alert slider. Back we have that camera setup. In fact, the cameras are very close to the original OnePlus 11, except I would say the 3x camera, which is actually, I would say, a little bit more improved. They have that periscope camera on that, but in terms of looks, it's very similar. One new thing that this device does get is that wireless charging, and I did test it in my car, and that wireless charging actually works. But again, I think so they could have skipped the wireless charging and reduced the price a little bit. And one more new thing is that this is now having a 5400 milliamp hour battery. So in terms of build quality, I don't have a problem. It's again that optical fingerprint scanner, and that works. And this time I would say the position of the optical fingerprint scanner is better, because earlier it was just down over here. Now this is a more comfortable position in my frank opinion. But one thing that I do not like, and if you recall the OnePlus 11 video when I posted, I told you guys that smartphone has to be one of the best ergonomic smartphone in terms of weight balance. Here I definitely feel this OnePlus 12, that extra weight because of that extra 400 milliamp hour battery and that wireless charging does make a difference. And I feel it is a little bit on the top heavy now. It's almost 220 grams. The earlier one was, if I recall, 205 grams. So in that area, I would say it feels slightly heavier and not as balanced as OnePlus 11. The OnePlus 11 got everything right in terms of that in-hand weight balance. The haptics are done very well. In fact, you also have this O haptics. If you go over here and search for O hap, and I've increased it actually to the max, and now the vibration motor is again very good, again much better than the Samsung's S24 Ultra, or even that. I would say again in terms of haptics, I would say the only Android smartphone I feel goes better than this one is the ROG Phone 8. But wow, the haptics have been actually done well on this smartphone. So if you're picky about those haptics, yes, it's done well. Regarding the UI element, again, indirectly this is an Oppo smartphone, guys. In terms of bloatware, I'm not that worried, because most of the other Chinese OEMs are adding way more bloatware. So I would say among the Chinese OEMs, this one has to be one of the cleanest, I would say. So that way I'm okay with it. Also in terms of UI, they call this the Oxygen OS still, but again, it's basically a Oppo layer. If you go to the settings, it will be very close to what you get with the Oppo smartphone. And but again, this is Oxygen OS 14, so we are getting the latest version of Android, and I'm happy about that. OnePlus is promising next, if I recall, 4 Android upgrades on this one. So again, it's decent, I would say. Yes, not like Samsung like 7 or Pixel 7 years, but again, it's decent, because many of the other Chinese OEMs, some of them, I don't want to name them, just give 2 or 3 years of Android upgrades. If you're that purist of that original OnePlus Oxygen vibe, this does not give those vibes. But again, the good thing is that it's very fluid, I would say. There is no jankiness or anything within the UI. I have forced it to 120 hertz because I felt in the auto sometimes it was not very smooth, so I forced it to actually 120 hertz. I'll talk about the display brightness in the later part of the video, because that is one thing I did not like. They were hyping it too much, but the reality is a little bit different, at least on the retail units, Indian retail units. And here I have actually, if you recall, set the screen refresh rate too high, that is 120 hertz, and in fact I've forced it to Quad HD plus. By default it's full HD, and in that also it's very fluid. I haven't noticed any, what do you say, stutters or anything. Very fluid. So that way they have tuned it very well. The only place where I'm noting slight stutter, and I think so this can be fixed, is when I'm playing videos. Just notice the speakers, they're loud. If I move that, notice closely, when it is moving, there is some animation drop. This I notice only when moving the orientation from portrait to else very smooth. Again, as I've told you, the speakers are very loud. Let's just test the speakers again to give you an idea how loud it is. And I'm actually just keeping it like this, not at max, if you notice, and it's still pretty loud. Let me just maximize it. This is the maximum. As you can see, it's actually loud, and you're also getting that slight depth effect on this one. Technically speaking, it does have Dolby support, but the Dolby effect you don't get with the speakers. You get it only when you are actually using the earbuds. So that is something that I have noticed on this one. But in terms of the speaker loudness, you don't have to worry about it. Actually, one of the loudest, as I've told you. Now, coming to the screen, again, this is very similar to what they did even with the OnePlus 11. The screen is slightly curved over here. Some of you will like it, some of you will not. I'm not a big fan of the curved screens, and I would say here they can fix a few things, because what I have noticed is that particularly when you're watching YouTube videos or something in full screen like this, and you're just holding it like this, it can just forward it accidentally, as it can do that. And also while shooting the videos, when you hold it, it can act a little bit. So I feel with the software, this edge detection should be actually slightly improved. But apart from that, in terms of screen quality, I do not have a problem. Another good thing that I like is that back glass, they say, is this Gorilla Glass 5, and I'm happy that this is not attracting any fingerprints. So this is actually really good. But here, this thing I don't like. This area is a fingerprint magnet, and it's sort of difficult to clean. This they could have done slightly different, I would say. But back, it's nice, no fingerprints or whatever. And some of you have even asked me any heating. No heating that I have noticed on this device, guys. So that way it's good, tuned well. It's just that weight, that top heavy weight it has. Front glass, I really like that now they're using Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which is excellent, I would say. So that way also it's very, very good. But one con I have, and they were hyping this like anything, that this is the brightest screen out there with peak brightness of 4500 nits or something like that. But in reality, that's not the case. Guys, if you guys know me, I was not feeling with that vitamin D deficiency. So every day I'm actually sitting out in the sun, and I use my devices over there. And I immediately noticed that this device, even at the maximum brightness, auto brightness set at whatever, was simply not that bright compared to other devices. For example, here is a screenshot with the Fold 5, this OnePlus 12 in the middle, and what do you say, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra on the right. And as you can see, the OnePlus 12 is simply not that bright, and they were claiming that this is the brightest smartphone. That's far away from the truth, I would say. In fact, this is the retail unit, and I know two other people who also got the Indian retail unit recently purchased, and they have compared with other Android smartphones, and definitely this is not the brightest screen. I don't know if it's a software issue or whatever, but as of now, I would say it's not bright. Don't get me wrong, in indoor conditions like this, it's plenty bright. You will not notice it. You don't have to worry. But it's only in direct sunlight when you're using it. It simply does not go as bright as some of the other flagship Android smartphones. Let's see if update fixes it, but that is what it is as of now. I thought you guys have to be you should guys know the actual fact. The RAM management is actually done very well. I don't have any issues with the RAM management on this one. So that's actually good. As you can see, these were some of the apps that I was using in the morning, and they are still in memory. I don't have to worry about it. And this is the 12 gigabyte variant. The good thing is that in terms of hardware specs, OnePlus is giving us a lot of good specs. Here are all the specs for your reference. For example, as I've told you, the storage is a UFS 4, which is again one of the fastest. The RAM is again LPDDR5X RAM, Gorilla Glass Victus 2. The processor that you are getting is the best as of now from Qualcomm, that is the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. So in terms of the raw hardware that we are getting, I feel we are getting a pretty good hardware. And again, I don't know, it's too early to talk about the software updates or whatever, but let's see how it ages. But from what I've heard, the OnePlus 11, when it got the update to Android 14, it did not degrade the performance. In fact, some users told me, in fact, the performance improved. So hopefully OnePlus is now getting back to the right track in terms of software update. Earlier, in the last couple of years, their track record was simply not good. Many devices were having hardware issues after update. So hopefully, though, that is past history. But let's see how this one ages. Next thing is, some of you have asked me how about the cellular connectivity. I'm still using it with my primary SIM, that is my Airtel SIM, and I did not have any issues with call clarity. In fact, the earpiece is very loud and clear. In fact, no proximity sensor issues or anything. So again, for business people who take a lot of calls, I don't have a problem. And again, as I've told you, the speaker is very loud. So even if you are a person who takes a lot of calls on speakerphone, again, no issues. 5G speeds also I got were decent, I would say. This area is a slightly remote area, guys, not in the center part of the city, and as you can see, I did a 5G test, got a download of 318 and upload of 126. So in terms of that cellular reception and everything, I did not have an issue. The good thing is that this device does support Wi-Fi 7. I don't have a Wi-Fi 7 router, but I do have a Wi-Fi 5 and a Wi-Fi 6 router, and I tested, and the Wi-Fi reception was good on this. No issues in terms of networking or whatever that I have noticed. This one is having a 5400 milliamp hour battery, and the charger, as I've told you, is very good. That 100-watt charger that you get, it will charge this device even if it's at almost 1% in less than 30 minutes. So that way the charging speed is not an issue. And in terms of battery life, I would say the battery life, again, it's too early. It's just the first charge cycle that I am on. And if I go to the battery, as you can see, it's just showing me this because accidentally today morning I just wanted to test the wireless charging, so I put it on the car. So that's why about 3 hours ago it said. But from the past 1 day of experience, I would say the battery life is among the top Android flagship smartphones with this one, and easily it should give you about 7.5 hours of SOT to about 8.5 hours of SOT. And guys, I'm forcing this on 120 Hz and I've kept it on Quad HD Plus screen. If you go default to the full HD Plus, I think so you can cross that 9 hours of SOT on this one. So that way, in terms of battery life, I do not have an issue. Another thing I noticed is that in regular usage or anything, this handset was simply not heating. To be very frank, I did not do any gaming yet, but if you guys want me to test that, I can actually do it. Okay guys, coming to the camera, I would say the camera performance is pretty decent, and here are the samples that I have taken with this device. So these are some outdoor shots. This is 1x and this was that 3x optical zoom. Some shots that I've taken in the mall, and most of them came out good. I immediately moved to ultra wide and I took the shot. It was blurry, so for ultra wide you have to wait for a second. Again, example, regular shot. Then I quickly moved to the ultra wide, but again, as you can see, the shot came out blurry, so you have to wait for a second for ultra wide shots. Human skin tones are produced well. As you can see, this was the regular mode and this was taken in the 3x portrait mode. You can easily get that natural bokeh effect. This was the snap that I took for the S24 thumbnail. Now for some night shots with the selfie camera, I feel the 32 megapixel selfie camera is doing a good job, and these are some shots taken in very low lighting conditions. And here I have to say the smartphone did perform much better than I had expected, but again, your hand has to be stable, otherwise you can get blurry shots. As like most smartphone, it tries to brighten up the picture quite a bit, because this was the actual reality of that room. Hi guys, recording this video with the OnePlus 12 with its front facing camera, and I'm directly in the sun, so you can see how it's doing the exposure. I'll just move to a shadowed area, and this is in a shadowed area, so this gives you an idea how it's handling the exposure and all these things. The good thing is that now finally with the front facing camera, we can record video in 4K up to 30 FPS, and the audio that you're hearing is also via its internal microphone. Okay, so these were the things that I have noticed in the past 36 hours. Overall, I would say it gets a lot of things right. Though only cons that I've noticed is that because of this edge screen in videos or whatever, when you're watching, you might hold it like this and you might start skipping the video. So that edge detection, they have to actually work on it, because I've noticed that the edge detection is slightly better on some of the, so this can be hopefully fixed with the software update. And also regarding that peak brightness that they were claiming, this is the brightest Android smartphone out there, that is far away from the truth as of now, at least for the Indian retail units. I don't know if this can be fixed with the OT update or not, because I was seeing that there is an update rolling out, almost a 5 GB update, but when I'm actually testing it, I'm checking for updates on this device, at least I'm not getting those updates. It says I'm on the latest version, so I will try to apply that update when I get it and see if that screen brightness thing has improved. Don't get me wrong, the screen brightness is not bad, but it's far away from the brightest screen that everyone is claiming. Anyways, guys, that's it for now for this first initial quick impressions with this OnePlus 12 smartphone. What do you feel about this one? And if you have any specific questions about this smartphone, do let me know in the comment section below. I will continue to use it with my primary son for the next few days, and then I'll post my full in-depth review or of FAQ videos if you guys really want. And guys, if you're still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.